And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Hope all of you censored commoners out there had a great weekend. This is episode 308. Biden unveils $5.9 billion more dollars for Ukraine, including, I think, the $1.25 billion we talked about last week. COVID tyrant Liana Wen calls for millions of bird flu vaccines to be created. Do not comply. Trump warns, Trump's advisor, I think Stephen Miller, warns sanctuary cities they could get, the leaders of the sanctuary cities, 249 of them, that you can go to jail for interfering with the feds when it comes to mass deportations. We also have allegations of RICO by Arizona officials censoring voters. And what do you know? Fani Willis supposedly is going to be subpoenaed as a court says that it's okay. She's got a few days to appeal it, I think, but it's going to be hilarious, guys. It's going to be hilarious. Make sure to tune in Monday through Friday, 6:45 p.m.-ish Eastern time as we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos that is 2024, soon to be 2025. And hopefully we can change that clown world clusterfuck chaos intro eventually if things start cooling down and improving. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. Make sure to use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag InfoInfantry when you share the broadcast. Mama Mac, how dare you be late? No, just kidding, of course. Mama Mac, welcome to the party, pal. I see you guys lurking over there. Sam Duty, Mama Mac 6. Ed, Donna, I saw Wendy too. What's going on, everybody? Can't forget Gettin' McGroin. Good to see you, Gettin'. Hope you guys had a kick-ass weekend. You can find us on X at Lord Sterling _. Links to all of the topics we discussed today will be posted in the video description on Rumble and the replies underneath the broadcast post on X. So if you want to access any of the individual sources or help act as a force multiplier with the show and spread them hither and yon across the interwebs, then go down there, hit that more button, see more on Rumble, grab the links, spread them. Spread them! Mama Mac will be adding timestamps also. So if you're watching this later on and need to maximize the efficiency of your time and attention, you can hop down there, find the topics that interest you, and jump right to that point in the broadcast. Thanks, Mama Mac. If you want to throw Mama Mac some love, you can head over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru, so you can avoid the petrochemical pharmaceutical industry that wants you sick and independent. And you can check out some natural tinctures to remedy your ailments. They taste bad, but they're so good for you, right, Mama Mac? And if you want to support the show directly, you can head on over to our link tree at Common Censored, where you can find links to our affiliate link to Golden Cocoon, EMF protection, modern day newfangled tinfoil hats, our books, Common Sense, first edition revived, made from high resolution images of a January 1776 first edition copy of Thomas Paine's magnum opus, the book that changed the world forever. Common Sense. We also have the redacted version, Common Censored, our eponymous title, the ultimate free speech First Amendment coffee table gag book, where you can't actually read pretty much any of the book. It's hilarious, man. And it also begs the question, is a revolution against tyranny even possible when the public commons, the marketplace of free ideas, is stifled and suppressed? Your guess is as good as mine. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom. All right, let's jump into the news. We'll start with some good stuff. We got President Trump, President-elect, former and future President Trump, Valentine Patriot. Good to see you, H. Hope you have had a great Christmas, my friend. Busting out the knucks for Valentine Patriot. Boom. Welcome back. So Trump is celebrating in the wake of a major, crucial win for America in a Truth Social post over the weekend, reacting happily as Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has successfully blocked the continued sale of border wall materials by the Biden administration in an obvious attempt by the Biden administration to sabotage the Trump administration. They know they're going to use the border wall, so they're trying to offload it and set back the border agenda, which is insane. We also have Homan, or one of these guys, has reported that one of the companies that purchased the border wall is willing to sell it right back to Trump at the price that they got it. So that's really good. We got some patriots who purchased the wall effectively to protect it. We probably lost some of it, but I think we can overcome that now that the process of selling it has all been completely shut down by the Texas courts. In a Saturday Morning Truth Social post, Trump called the materials protection a major, crucial win for America. According to Paxton, border wall segments have already been auctioned off for, quote, pennies on the dollar. The Biden administration confirmed to the court today that it will agree to an order preventing the outgoing administration from disposing of any further border wall materials over the next 30 days, allowing President Trump to use these materials as he sees fit. The press release explained this will be adopted as an order of the court, making it enforceable if any violations occur. And I think they're also suing the Biden administration because there was previously a court decision that, yeah, here it is. Additionally, the court stated that Texas is entitled to a documentation proving that the Biden administration has not violated an already existing injunction secured by Attorney General Paxton in May of 2024 that required the Biden administration to spend statutorily obligated funds on border wall construction after the federal government attempted to illegally redirect the money. If it's shown that the Biden administration disposed of border wall materials purchased with funds subject to that injunction in violation of the court order, or that the Department of Justice made misrepresentations regarding the border materials that have been auctioned off, probably both, allegedly, this would constitute unethical and sanctionable conduct, and the responsible parties could be held in contempt of court. Let's go. That's what I want to see. Hold all these bastards in contempt of court. That's right, 6. Why do leftists love burning things down? I mean, if this isn't trying to hurt America, I don't know what is. That's right. Ooh, we got Shoemaker in the chat too. What's up, Shoemaker? Good to see you, bro. And I see Rockabilly Guitar over there as well. Hope you guys had a great Christmas if we haven't seen you since then, which I don't think we have for you guys specifically. Continuing, quote, we have successfully blocked the Biden administration from disposing of any further border wall materials before President Trump takes office, said Attorney General Paxton. Trump responded to the news, writing, breaking in a major, crucial win for America and our national security. A federal judge in Texas, based on papers we filed just a few days ago, has prohibited, all caps, the Biden administration from selling any materials designated for the border wall that has been wrecked by Biden and his cronies, and which I am going to rebuild in order to protect our country from violent migrant crime, fentanyl smuggling, sex trafficking, terror attacks, and other heinous nation-ending disasters. Just seeing the word heinous made me think of back in the day when Halo 2 was the shit. Used to play that bigly back in college, and my friend had a gamer tag on Xbox that was heinous anus. I thought that was pretty good one. Trump continued saying the judge has also ordered an investigation into the illegal selling of the materials which will expose just how corrupt and anti-American radical demon rats are. I'm honored to be joined in this vital case by the great state of Texas and Missouri and applaud Judge Drew Tipton for doing the right thing for our country. We have to protect our borders and save America. MAGA! MAGA, baby! Texas Tribune reports that portions of the wall had starting bids of just $5. $5, man. That is insane. Ooh, 6. Coming in clutch with the link to Ken Paxton's press release as well from the 27th. Boom! Attorney General Ken Paxton blocks Biden administration from disposing of wall materials that we are going to need, like a breakwater or something, to hold back the tide of illegals. We talked about last week too. What was it? The president of Colombia said, "Oh, if you sanction Mexico or something, we're gonna send millions of people to your border." Bro, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. That's effectively declaring an invasion of the United States, and that sets you up for massive retribution. So I would advise you to rethink that whole sentiment. How about this one? Trump advisor warns 249 sanctuary city officials that they can go to prison for interfering with immigration enforcement. I think this should be retroactive too. Anybody that has operated a sanctuary city openly should go to prison, period. Otherwise, next time an administration comes in that happens to be leftist friendly, they'll just launch the sanctuary cities again. So we need to prosecute everybody who is involved with setting up sanctuary cities illegally, flaunting their opposition to federal law in the first place. Put them all in jail after due process, of course. President-elect Donald Trump's incoming Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller of America First Legal, has sent warning letters to 249 sanctuary city officials that they could face criminal charges for interfering with immigration enforcement under the new administration. We're back, baby. Law and order is coming back. That's right. Set the example now, 6. I agree. California Attorney General Rob Bonta, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, and Los Angeles Police Department Chief Jim McDonnell are among those who received the letters. The letter itself explained, quote, federal law imposes serious consequences for obstructing the execution of federal immigration law, so-called, quote, sanctuary, unquote, jurisdictions that forbid compliance with federal immigration law and cooperation with the officials who enforce it are therefore breaking the law. So everybody who voted for him, get a prison, a chastity belt that you could bring to prison. So, if that's possible, or figure out how to make one out of your orange jumpsuit, because you guys are all going to be fucked, metaphorically and possibly physically. Yeah, for real, 6. Even California has had enough of the the shit libs. That's bad when it gets to that point. Moreover, sanctuary jurisdictions are strictly prohibited from requiring their employees to violate federal immigration law. We have identified your jurisdiction as a sanctuary jurisdiction that is violating federal law. Such lawlessness subjects you and your subordinates to significant risk of criminal and civil liability. Accordingly, we are sending this letter to put you on notice of the risk and insist that you comply with our nation's laws. Cease and desist, criminal scum. The importance of this issue is not just abstract or hypothetical. According to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, as of September 25th, 2024, there were 425,431 convicted criminals in the United States who were illegal aliens with final orders of removal entered against them and who were not currently being detained. Additionally, there were 222,141 non-detained illegal aliens in the United States with final orders of removal who had criminal charges pending against them. This adds up to 647,572 illegal aliens, according to Acting ICE Director Patrick J. Lechleitner. or something. One of the reasons for this high number of criminal aliens who are free from detention is that, quote, sanctuary policies can end up shielding dangerous criminals who often victimize those same immigrant communities. Good point. They're not just victimizing the Americans. They know the other illegals are illegal, and they're leveraging them for whatever variety of purposes. In a press release about the notices, America First Legal said, quote, responding to crimes committed by illegal aliens against women and children, AFL filed a petition with the Department of Justice on Violence Against Women, OVW, asking that OVW publicly report monthly on its website the citizenship status and nationality of every person charged with child maltreatment. Good idea. Dating violence. That's a thing. Dating violence. I mean, it's not funny, but it's just a kind of a funny categorization. Violence is just violence, whether it's domestic or dating. It's like a crime is a crime. Hate crime, it's just a crime, regardless of the motivation, a crime is a crime. Continuing, quote, female genital mutilation or cutting, sexual assault, stalking, and or technological abuse, murder, and or other violent incidents committed against a minor or adult biological female. The organization noted that violating the law and helping illegal aliens circumvent the law could land you 20 years in prison. Yeah, you're in big, big trouble. Quote, because sanctuary jurisdictions laws usually require multiple officials to coordinate their activities, all officials involved are liable under multiple federal criminal conspiracy statutes. Therefore, employees working for an official implementing sanctuary policies may be at risk, even if they do not directly conceal, harbor, or shield an alien. But they were just following orders, right? Just following orders. Additionally, it is a crime carrying a penalty of up to 20 years imprisonment for anyone who, quote, knowingly engages in misleading conduct towards another person with intent to cause or induce any person to be absent from an official proceeding to which such person has been summoned by the legal process, or to hinder, delay, or prevent communication to a law enforcement official or judge of the United States. like pretty much constantly do this, right? Cass, what's up, Cass? Hope you had a great weekend. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, also appeared on Fox and warned the officials that to, quote, knowingly conceal or harbor an illegal alien is a felony. So you're on notice. You are on notice. And 6 coming in clutch again with with one of these examples of these letters from December 23rd, right before Christmas, to Nora Vargas, in this case, of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. So if you want to check out the actual letters, link will be in the description. Thanks, 6. And let's see what we got next on the list over here. Incoming DOJ investigation. This one's got me a little bit excited. Trump says the Kamala Harris campaign and the DNC illegally paid to get endorsements of Oprah, Al Sharpton, Beyonce, and others. That's right. You make you deposit $500,000, million here, there, and then they suddenly come out and endorse you. You're paying for endorsements. Let's be real. You can't sugarcoat this. You can't, allegedly, of course. That's my opinion. Incoming DOJ investigation. Are the Democrats allowed to pay $11 million, $2 million, and $500,000 to get the endorsements of Beyonce, Oprah, and Reverend Al? I don't think so. Beyonce didn't sing. Oprah didn't do much of anything. She called it, quote, expenses. And Al is just a third-rate con man. This is the Trump I like. So what is going on here? Totally against the law, and I have heard there are many others. Oh man, how nice would it be to end 2025 with Kamala Mamala and co. locked up? Give them that due process and due process them directly into volcanoes, in my opinion. Recall that in October, the Harris campaign announced that Beyonce would appear and perform at a rally in Houston, Texas. But it was a lie to build a crowd. She didn't perform, and she barely spoke. And there were all kinds of things like this where they actually did use concerts to draw crowds. And then, nobody actually was there for Beyonce. They saw Trump everywhere he goes with crowds as far as the eye can see. And the only way they could even pretend to emulate that was to get top tier musical artists linked to Kamala at these venues to draw the crowds. Those were crowds for the artists, in my opinion, not for Kamala Mamala. So let's go, man. We need investigations bigly for this, bigly. Let's do it. Kamala Harris's failed presidential campaign reportedly funneled $500K to Al Sharpton's nonprofit, the National Action Network, just weeks before a lackluster interview with the professional race hustler on MSNBC. According to a report by the Washington Free Beacon, Harris's donation was part of a larger $5.4 million spending spree aimed at boosting her favorability among Black and Latino groups, a strategy that, as we know, fell flat, both of which voted bigger and more bigly for President Trump this time around. Massive numbers of Latinos nationwide, huge numbers of male African Americans or Blacks, because not all of them are necessarily African the way they could consider themselves. Blacks, we'll say. I think Black women voted for Kamala around the normal numbers, but Black men, they came out big for Trump, which was huge. Federal campaign finance records reveal Harris's campaign issued 2 payments of $250K each to Sharpton, as you guys know. So let's see some action on this. This would be great. We need a massive investigation with the incoming DOJ. LFG. On another note of LFG, Dirk, what's up, Dirk? We started relatively on time. I think it was like 7 on the dot when I hit the go live button today, which is not bad considering I was running like 20 minutes late on making the show thumbnail. So we were in pretty good shape today. Pretty good shape, even though I was late. Fani to be slapped with subpoenas after court rules lawmakers can demand answers. Uh-oh. Fani Willis, you are in trouble. Remember that clip of her? I'm not the one who's under investigation here. Well, now you might be. Lawmakers in Georgia have granted the authority to save subpoenas on Fulton County DA Fani Willis as part of an inquiry into her persecution, I'll say, of President-elect Donald J. Trump. I know, six posting. Truly wonder if both the DOJ and DBI, FBI, can be fixed within the short time he will be in office. I think they could be largely fixed, at least with a good enough process, just basically firing everybody. That's what we got to do. Fire them all, start fresh, maybe even just completely dismantle FBI, CIA, and start completely fresh from scratch. The problem is that the CIA, they're in bed with the secret space program and the advanced breakaway civilization with the 0-point energy, anti-gravity, cold fusion, probably quantum computing, and all kinds of other crazy shit. So if they don't choose to relinquish power, CIA could just go underground, and they already have probably a giant self-funded infrastructure through black projects and human smuggling and drug dealing. So they can probably just operate as their own kind of breakaway shadow government, even while Trump is in office. So there's going to need to be some massive investigations and efforts to crack down on their shadow orchestration and operation, which could be problematic because even if we were to go after them, we don't really have the technology to even be able to effectively put them under arrest. If they can hit a button and zoom off, real quick, invisible, for instance, it could be really a big problem. So there's going to need to be a massive effort to rein in the secret space program and break away advanced technological civilization that exists in the intelligence and military industrial complex that could be really problematic for long-lasting, meaningful reform. But I guess we'll just tackle that when we get to it. In a Monday ruling revealed later last week, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Shukura Ingram allowed the Georgia State to compel Willis's testimony. Georgia Senate, to compel Willis's testimony, giving her until January 13 to argue that the lawmakers' demands are overly broad or seek confidential information. Willis plans to appeal the ruling. Epoch Times reports, she was saying, oh, there's confidential information that they want that could hurt the prosecution. You mean like exculpatory evidence that you're supposed to provide? Yeah, that's the whole point, is that we want the shit that you're trying to hide that could screw up the prosecution. So you're only proving our point by making that argument. Ridiculous. Quote, we believe the ruling is wrong and will appeal, said Willis's attorney, former Georgia Governor Roy Barnes, the bad Barnes, as opposed to Robert Barnes, who we like. One thing is for sure, we need to beat Google's quantum computing tech before it comes a reality. That's one of the things with the H-1B and importing tech experts from around the world argument. I think obviously the H-1B thing needs to be completely reformed, and we need to eliminate entirely low-skilled importation of workers, jobs that can be done by Americans. But one thing that people don't really realize right now is that at this particular point in time, if you look at the trajectory of technological development, we're at this inflection point right here where it's about to go parabolic. And it's critical for us to effectively capture the top talent around the world and get them producing for us so that they won't propel China into a position of technological dominance or another country. Granted, a lot of this stuff probably already exists in the secret space program and advanced military industrial complex breakaway civilization. But if there is legitimately talent around the world that could be a threat to us, that may be better than engineers and things that are cultivated in the terrible education system of the United States at this moment, we may need to grab them, get them working for us so that we're getting the benefits. And then that can be sort of a crutch while we reform the education system here and start producing world-class talent again. So there's a lot of nuance in this, and we definitely need to eliminate bringing in foreign workers to do jobs that Americans can do. But we need to make sure that we maintain a dominance in this technological development that's going on right now, because we're at this inflection point and shit's about to get real crazy, and we need to be on top of that. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Tac Cho, good to see you, Tac Cho. Hope you had a good weekend. Boom. So, earlier this year, a state Senate committee was formed over allegations of misconduct by Willis during her prosecution of Trump. An odor of mendacity was described as they booted Nathan Wade, and now Fani was disqualified herself, and they're trying to subpoena her to put her under investigation effectively for wrongdoing and lying to the court. We have her dead to rights, in my opinion, lying to the court, committing perjury, talking about her when she started dating Nathan Wade and everything like that. So this needs to be enforced for once. And Fani needs to be subpoenaed, and she needs to be prosecuted, in my opinion. Republican State Senator Greg Dolezal applauded the ruling, saying Judge Ingram has ruled the state Senate does indeed have the power to subpoena DA Fani Willis. Of course it does. This is the checks and balances of government. You can't just have DAs operating under the governor just running amok, doing whatever the hell they want. States have a similar separation of powers to the federal government. It's like Mayorkas and Blinken just completely skirting subpoenas to Congress. It's bullshit. It's garbage. They need to be held accountable by the legislators and by the judicial branch and everything. So insane. Fani's lawyer was saying, oh, there needs to be independence. No. That's called a dictatorship, when you have somebody that's completely independent, just running shit with no pushback and no accountability. So we don't want Georgia AGs or DAs or whatever to be invincible and effectively dictators. They need to be held accountable. Legislators need to be able to subpoena documents and stuff from the departments of the effectively the executive branches of the states. So any argument otherwise is just garbage, and these people are tarded and evil and corrupt, in my opinion. As the Epoch Times notes further, scrutiny of Willis intensified after the Georgia Court of Appeals ruled earlier in December to disqualify her from the case. The split 2-1 decision cited an appearance of impropriety stemming from her romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. So yeah, let's call her in. Let's subpoena the documents. Let's get the information and reveal the corruption. It's time, baby. It's time. How about this? We talked about $1.25 billion that Biden was planning to announce for Ukraine last week. Now we have Zero Hedge reporting Biden unveils $5.9 billion in military and budget aid to Ukraine as pre-Trump surge continues. America is a few short weeks from seeing Trump inaugurated and entering the White House for the second time. Maybe, I don't know why, it just made me think of the Ludacris album title, Back for the First Time, which is just kind of funny. His first album, that's what it was called. It's hilarious. I don't know. I'm weird. Trump has been promising to rapidly negotiate a peace settlement in Ukraine, but lame duck Biden has simultaneously pledged to rush as much defense aid to the Zelensky government as possible before leaving the White House. Another thing I saw was that Trump was pushing the idea, suggesting it to Putin, to Hitler Putin, that to allow Ukraine to join NATO, but in 20 years. So just push off the problem. No, NATO shouldn't be part of Ukraine, or Ukraine shouldn't be part of NATO. It's the whole point. NATO shouldn't even exist, President Trump. So let's eliminate NATO. There's no reason for it to exist. Let's go back to bilateral relations and, sanity. We don't have to, the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. So NATO has kind of outlived its usefulness and purpose, in my opinion. President Biden has unveiled billions more for Kiev on Monday. Quote, United States on Monday announced nearly $6 billion in additional military and budget assistance for Ukraine. Insane. This includes $2.5 billion in defense assistance and an additional $3.4 billion in budget aid. Are you fucking kidding me? What is wrong with these people, man? What is wrong with you people? Amid ongoing Russian aerial attacks and Ukrainian infrastructure, and especially the energy grid. Quote, in my direction, the United States will continue to work relentlessly to strengthen Ukraine's position in this war over the remaining of my time of office, Biden said in his statement announcing the aid. According to details via Reuters, Biden's announcement includes $1.25 billion in military aid, so that's what he announced last week, from U.S. stockpiles, $1.22 billion in Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package, final USAI package of Biden's time in office. Under USAI, military equipment is procured from other defense industry or partners, rather than drawn from American stocks. They should never be drawing from American stocks. Oh man, this makes me so mad. This needs to stop. Ukraine needs to just be dissolved, in my opinion, and given back to Russia, period. I'm done. Ukraine is, their leadership is trash, shutting down the media, shutting down other election parties, canceling elections. It's over. Just give Ukraine back to Russia. So this means it could take years to arrive on the battlefield, which could be good because then Trump might be able to get in and prevent it from happening. President-elect Trump has indicated he doesn't plan to immediately cut aid to Ukraine, which would be negative, generally speaking, unless perhaps it's part of a negotiating tactic in preparation for future talks with Moscow over ending the war. Maybe NATO joining, or Ukraine joining NATO in 20 years is also like the Russian half of the big ask before, coming to agree on something far different than that. But just, this is part of the negotiation process. last week saw sustained major Russian strikes involving drone and missile barrages targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Yeah, so they'd left it completely operational for so freaking long, showing you that this was never about taking over Ukraine. They wanted to take over Ukraine and was like, oh, he's a Hitler that wants to take over the world. They would have taken out Ukraine's energy infrastructure first. This is all resulting from Ukraine unethically, illegally murdering ethnic Russians in the Donbass region, just like Poland was doing after the end of World War I. This followed a Ukrainian drone strike on a Russian residential building in Kazan, which is far away from the front lines. So you guys get the gist. He's directed the Department of Defense to continue its surge of weapons deliveries to Ukraine, and the U.S. will continue to work tirelessly to strengthen Ukraine's position in its defense against the evil Russians. The evil Russian boogeyman. Ukraine's main problem along the front lines, where by all accounts its forces are being steadily beaten back, remains a severe manpower shortage. So what are they going to do about that? You can have all the money in the world, doesn't make a difference if you don't have people willing to die for your cause. Ed posted this one in the chat. Let's see what's going on here from the disrespected trucker at disrespected the. What the fuck is going on? He says. Have any of you noticed something not normal recently? This makes me nervous because Mama Mac texted me over the weekend talking about anomalous fogs with bizarre behavior that didn't necessarily perfectly match normal water vapor fog. So, and we've seen reports of drones spraying stuff as well. What the hell's going on here, Ed?
All right, so it's crazy foggy right now. But that's not the weird part, okay? Like, number one, it's weird because as it gets later in the day, fog should lighten, dissipate, and it's really not. But the weirdest part is the taste and smell. It smells like after you set off a bunch of fireworks, and like the taste of the air is, I mean, the only word I can think of is toxic. It's super weird. And so I'm going for my walk and it's kind of worrying me a little bit. Let me know if you guys are experiencing something like that. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, it smells not right. And I'm 41. I've been through fog. This is something different. Let me know if you guys are experiencing something like that.
Yeah, I've seen fog before. I didn't experience any of this because I stayed indoors with my air filters going full blast over the weekend. Hermit, vampire. But it's a little bit sketchy. Donna says super foggy out there, but also frost on plants till it rises. You're at Wisconsin, is that right, Donna? Southern California looks to have the worst air quality across the U.S. at this time, according to 6 with a post, an article, or a live map, it looks like, actually, of air quality from Ventusky, ventusky.com. Very interesting. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, SoCal with really bad air quality at this point. Let's check out Connecticut, Mama Mac. Let's see what's going on over here. We look clear at the moment for the most part. Who knows? Who knows? It's all a little bit unnerving. I feel like something suspicious is going on with the drones spraying stuff. Yeah, some kind of weird chemical warfare, Sam Duty. And with all the talk about the bird flu and all this stuff, are they dropping contaminants on us to make us sick? Wouldn't surprise me, honestly. This is right up their alley of go-to type operations, in my opinion. In other news down in Arizona, here we go. Officials in Maricopa County, AZ, say bird flu detected in county wastewater. That's not good. Are they using PCR tests, though? Does this even mean anything? They can test every fucking thing in the world for whatever they want. They can test a grapefruit, say it comes up with bird flu. If they're using PCR tests, it means literally nothing. You can detect anything anywhere. So who knows? Maybe they're just trying to scare us, guys. Maricopa County public health officials say they've detected a quote, influenza subtype associated with avian flu in local wastewater in Phoenix, Surprise, and Tempe, Arizona. Officials say the risk to the general population remains low. You can totally trust the officials, guys! Think for authority, question yourself! The Gateway Pundit has reported on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention fear-mongering about new potential pandemic of avian flu, as if the public hasn't been subjected to enough panic and virus hoaxes in recent years. Yeah, what happened to the monkeypox and all of these other things? That's right, Ed. Fuck their fucking viruses, the fuckers. Rockabilly says we have pigeons shotting at work. We're not sick all year long. Yeah. I don't buy any of this, man. This is all fomented and created, in my opinion. Diseases don't just pop out of nowhere. Lyme disease didn't just pop out of nowhere. Coof didn't just pop out of nowhere. These are all biological weapons. These people are fucking around, and we need spikes after due process. In a move reminiscent of its overreaching COVID-19 policies, Governor of the California, Gavin Newsom, has declared a state of emergency, as we saw, as in response to the first case, the one case of bird flu, which was in fucking Louisiana, on the other side of the country. As Gateway Pundit reported, Dr. Leanna Wen, the communist doctor who demanded Americans lose all their rights during the COVID pandemic, appeared on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday to discuss the bird flu outbreak. She called for the Biden regime to get millions of doses of, quote, vaccines ready for the American public as soon as possible, claiming that Trump may, quote, hold up vaccine authorization and, quote, withhold testing. Due process this bitch right into a volcano. Due process. She added, we should have learned our lessons from COVID to justify even stricter measures. No, we should have learned our lessons from COVID that a bunch of stuff I can't say on YouTube. You know what I'm going to say. Just imagine the things I can't say on YouTube, and it's all that stuff. Maricopa County is the fourth largest county in the United States, according to 2024 census data. This news of a potential outbreak discovered in wastewater comes at a suspicious time, as President Trump is about to take office next month, and leftists are pushing fear porn and calling for lockdowns and potential mandates, as we saw with COVID. And Peter Hotez saying we got big things coming down the pipeline, beginning January 21st. And there's a lot more suspicious context about all of this. Can I read this on YouTube? If we learned anything from COVID, it's that you can't always trust the, quote, science, unquote. Maricopa County Department of Public Health issued the following news release as part of routine wastewater surveillance in Maricopa County. Maricopa County Department of Public Health, MCDPH, is reporting the detection of an influenza subtype associated with avian flu in local wastewater. No human cases of avian flu have been detected in Maricopa County, and the risk to the general population remains low. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing you say we can trust. That's right, Donna. Ain't getting no poke, period. Hell's no. Hell's MFN no. So here's another article about this insane lunatic demanding millions of vaccines for bird flu, even though nobody's, there's been like one case, and who knows if that's even real. Could have just be a PCR anomaly. Here we go, Dr. Leanna Wen, the communist doctor, I almost said dictator, who demanded Americans lose all their rights during the COVID pandemic, appeared, she's probably a Chi-Com agent for all we know, appeared on CBS's Face the Nation saying that we need millions and millions of chemical interventions in your bloodstream. These people are nuts. Yeah. How about lead injections instead?
What should be happening in the Biden administration right now that isn't going on?
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing.
Yeah, deporting you and prosecuting Fauci.
the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there.
Monty!
I feel like we should have learned our lesson from
What's up,
COVID
Monty?
that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests.
We shouldn't have to look for it. If people get sick, they get sick. And then it finds you. You don't have to look for it. It's like, what was it, Stalin that said, show me the man and I'll find you the crime? Yeah, you can find crimes if you look for them, but that's not how the justice system is supposed to work.
That's available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for
Great Christmas here, brother. Hope you had a killer Christmas as well, my friend.
Bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is, this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million.
Yeah, like back in fucking May or some shit. Isn't it interesting? Very interesting how they seem to have advanced notification. Oh, we got the first case now in December, but they contracted to make these fucking vaccines like 6 months ago. How does that make any sense? Omega Directive. What's up, bro? Hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with
Monty, glad to hear your surgery went well. I might have missed the conversation in the chat about what needed to be surgified. But damn, bro, really glad to hear that it went well. Hope you are having fun in Murfreesboro down in Tennessee. And man, just really glad to hear the surgery went well. We love you, buddy.
Vaccine stances. Could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? I mean, that's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
To do the right thing, yeah, to inject them with experimental genetic therapy, you fucking moron. Like, that's the right thing? These people are deranged. 6, saying, give me the man and I will give you the case against him, commonly attributed to the Stalinist-era Soviet jurist Andrei Vyshinsky. Thanks, 6. You rock. On point. Giving us the details. Yep, that's the one.
Dr. Wen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird
World
flu,
Health Organization.
that the mortality rate is 52%.
Yeah, you're a fucking Chi-Com. That's all I needed to hear.
52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals. People infected so far in the US have been mainly farm workers who are working, presumably generally healthy, as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
China. I see what you did there, 6. That's hilarious. So, these lunatics want to just keep jib-jabbing us up out the wazoo. We cannot allow this to happen. Cannot allow this to happen. And this is what I was referencing a minute ago. Liz Churchill at Liz_Churchill10 posting on X. Isn't it remarkable that they can magically predict which pathogen will occur and the vaccine, quote unquote, that everyone will, quote, need, unquote, 6 months in advance? Yeah. Like Leanna Wen mentioned in that interview, Biden administration signs contract with Moderna for mRNA bird flu vaccine all the way back in July. How did they know? It's almost like it's all part of the plan. More sabotage Ooh, Dr. Benjamin Marble commenting underneath. I don't think I can read what he said on YouTube, but if you guys aren't subscribed to Dr. Benjamin Marble, go follow at Marble Benjamin on X. He's a cool guy, man. He's cool. So, yeah, they already had this deal forever ago, almost like it's part of a plan. And then when you add this context, it just looks even more suspicious. Shadow of Ezra at Shadow of Ezra posting on X. The Bill Gates Foundation, in collaboration with the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security and the World Health Organization, WHO, ran a simulation called Catastrophic Contagion, imagining a deadly pandemic in 2025. This time, the outbreak caused by an enterovirus called SEERS, S-E-E-R-S, SEERS, would have a higher fatality rate than the COOF and would disproportionately affect children. The panel examined lessons learned from the COVID crisis, discussing topics like societal control, propaganda, and the controversial closure of churches. Let's see what's going on over Nya.
Officials in 2 Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe Epidemic Enterovirus Respiratory Syndrome 2025. Over the past 6 weeks alone, there have been 500 confirmed or suspected cases reported. The virus could cause a severe pandemic if early containment and mitigation efforts are not successful.
The pandemic in this type of situation and trend would be a risk for the global health security.
Pandemics are inherently political, financial, and so much broader.
We have not spoken on the leadership in country. And I think that we need to be also very careful. We cannot decide a lot of things without the leaders be involved and agree on that.
There is no substitute for national leadership.
It's important to support the local response or the national response.
Training those that are in these areas first, enabling them with the tools, protecting them, and if needs be, regional solidarity first.
At this stage, communication is key, and communication should include not just scientists with data, but also social, religious, and political leaders.
Trust. This is an essential issue, and trust was broken among countries, between populations and healthcare systems, between healthcare systems and governments.
I'm very sorry to say that in 2025, we need to strengthen the health system.
WHO needs to be a voice for the voiceless.
No one is safe until all of us are safe.
As of today, there have been an estimated 1 billion cases worldwide, with more than 20 million deaths, including nearly 15 million children. Countless millions are alive, but left with paralysis or brain damage. The most successful countries are those which invested in preparedness and trained for this moment years in advance. This included having full-time pandemic preparedness and response teams, which conducted detailed operational planning and routinely tested those plans through exercises and drills. If more countries had participated and heeded the guidance, the toll might have been much less.
You guys already know what I would say about what actually caused the deaths. But we can't talk about it on this platform. We're going to go ahead and end YouTube in a couple minutes. Yeah, Omega Directive saying the WHO needs to be investigated and defunded by the U.S. Jay Monty agreeing the WHO needs to go to hell. Nuke them. Let's just lob a nice 50 kiloton nuke at the next WHO meeting. After a declaration of war by Congress, or is that necessary? I don't know. Just spitballing over here. Yeah, exactly, Dyke. Fuck all these people in their own faces, just like Les Grossman said in Tropic Thunder. Take a step back and literally fuck your own face. Yep. That is my directive for these people, and Dyke's directive as well. How about this? Ooh, just inhaled down the wrong pipe over there. That's better. Mike Davis at MRDDMIA. We like Mike Davis. Team Biden admits to the Washington Post they waged lawfare and election interference against Trump. And this guy is a heavy-hitting lawyer. He's Benny Johnson's lawyer, and I think he's worked for Trump and a whole bunch of others as well. Does really good work, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Fuck it. What can FuckTube do? Give you a strike? Yeah, for real. 7 days, no streaming? Oh, no, I'll just go to Rumble. Call a meeting, blow the building. That's right, Dirk. That's right, Dirk. Oh, yeah, Mama Mac, good call. If you like to hang with friends and a great DJ during late night hours, check out Dark Side Radio. Rumble.com/Darth Jason. Join the Dark Siders. That's always a great time hanging out over at Dark Side Radio with Darth Jason. You can send links for songs that you want him to play. Audience basically builds the entire show, and he puts all the links together and plays all the songs that everybody requests. Great time with based patriots over there at Dark Side Radio. Hit him up. You won't regret it. So yeah, Trump 47 Justice Department must investigate this, as the Biden team admits effectively that they waged lawfare and election interference against Trump. Conspiracy against rights. Heard that tossed around a lot lately. 18 U.S. Code subsection 241 is a very serious federal felony. In private, Biden has also said he should have picked someone other than Merrick Garland as Attorney General, complaining about the Justice Department's slowness under Garland in prosecuting Trump. Persecuting, you mean? And its aggressiveness in prosecuting Biden's son Hunter, according to people familiar with his comments. So ridiculous. Biden was persuaded, and some Democrats believe the decision had devastating results. Had the Justice Department moved faster to prosecute Trump for allegedly seeking to overturn the 2020 election and mishandling classified documents, they say, the former president might have faced a politically damaging trial before the election. Others blame the Supreme Court and a Trump-appointed judge in Florida, Aileen Cannon, for repeatedly siding with the former president and delaying the cases. The Justice Department declined to comment. These people are criminals, man. Criminals. KK Bird saying the evidence was all there, and now we get the admission that the goal was to prosecute Trump. Everyone involved in the criminal lawfare against Trump needs to be held accountable. Saying evidence is mounting that the Biden White House is running all of the prosecutions against Trump. With breaking news that Letitia James visited the White House, and this is old, but nonetheless, important that there was coordination between New York with Letitia James meeting at the White House, with Biden sending Michael Colangelo, allegedly, to work under Alvin Bragg down there as well. But Fani supposedly also visited the Biden White House for 5 hours on February 28th, 2023, 1 week after recommending charges against Donald J. Trump. And court records revealed that Nathan Wade, Fani's lead prosecutor, met with Biden's White House counsel on May 23rd and November 18th, 2022, before indicting Trump. So what was he doing there? We don't know, because he made his receipts that he submitted very vague, saying, yeah, he met with counsel, but he didn't say why or about what or anything. So we need to investigate, compel testimony, etc. Fani Willis's lead prosecutor billed taxpayers $4,000 to talk to Joe Biden's White House counsel for 16 hours about prosecuting Biden's leading political opponent, allegedly. Of course, because we don't exactly have all the details. And don't forget, Matthew Graves, who just resigned, the big prosecutor who's been prosecuting all the January 6th people. His wife visited the White House 36 times since Biden appointed him as the D.C. U.S. attorney. Just unreal, man. Biden staffers met with special counsel Jack Smith aides before Trump indictment. Speaking of aides and indictments, we need to prosecute Fauci. If you know, you know. I think that he murdered people, was involved with the creation of AIDS in the U.S. Special Virus Program, and with the poison medicine that they used to finish the job for people like Freddie Mercury. Justice for Freddie Mercury. Prosecute Fauci, allegedly, of course, all of that allegedly. Get this. Fani Willis colluded with the January 6th committee to, quote, get Trump, unquote, from Politico. Committee staff quietly met with lawyers and agents working for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis in mid-April 2022, just as she prepared to convene a special grand jury investigation. In the previously unreported meeting, the January 6th committee aides let the district attorney's team review, but not keep, limited set of evidence they'd gathered. Over the next few months, committee staff also had a series of phone calls with Willis's team. They answered the prosecutor's questions and shared insight on matters like Trump's false electors gambit, quote unquote. Fuck. JFK did it in 1961. Right? These people are fucking rules for thee, but not for me. It's fine when Democrats do it, but when Republicans do it, even though the precedent has already been set, yeah, it's not cool, man. Yeah, that's right, 6. These people just can't stop lying. So Trump's, quote, false electors gambit and his efforts to pressure Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger as asshole. Both of those ploys ultimately featured prominently in the criminal charges that Willis brought against Trump and his allies last summer. So yeah, seems clear to me that the Biden White House was coordinating with states to prosecute his political enemies in a way that Trump couldn't fight back against because he can't issue pardons, for instance, for state charges. Quote, the contacts between the committee and Willis's team also helped prosecutors prepare for interviews and key witnesses. Content of the meetings and calls was described by 2 former committee officials familiar with the outreach who were granted anonymity to speak candidly about the contacts. Timing was corroborated by exhibits attached to new court filings in Willis's ongoing prosecution of Trump and 14 co-defendants. The committee aided Willis's nascent probe, even as it rebuffed the Justice Department's requests for material in the separate federal criminal probe of Trump's election subversion. These fucking people, man. At the time, one reason the committee was more inclined to cooperate with the Fulton County team than with the federal prosecutors was that federal prosecutors might have been required to disclose the evidence in ongoing criminal cases related to the January 6th, quote, attack, unquote, on the Capitol. So, insane. And everybody's all mad at Elon about the H-1B situation and everything. But Elon has called for major reform of the broken H-1B visa program, proposes to make it more expensive to hire overseas than domestically. Makes sense to me. Monetarily incentivize hiring domestically. So I think this is a good idea. And Greg Foreman, who you guys know I really love his channel, Black Conservative Perspective, he had a great video over the weekend about how to bridge the gap between the factions in the party as well, bringing in certain specialized, super high-level skilled labor to help advance these tech projects, offset by big tech contributing to developing education in rural areas of America to help produce the next generation of talent that we can hire all domestically. So I think that's a pretty good idea. Check out Black Conservative Perspectives video from over the weekend. But they could do that. People may be more likely to accept talent coming from overseas to help us and to help kneecap foreign countries if big tech is actively contributing to help develop education to cultivate high-level talent in America. So that would be a really cool idea. But continuing in a recent development, Elon Musk, co-chair of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, has called for major reforms to the H-1B visa program, aiming to prioritize American workers and address concerns of exploitation within the system. There's no doubt it's being exploited bigly, and they're bringing in tons of people to do jobs that we should be able to do, that Americans can do. The H-1B visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations requiring specialized knowledge and a bachelor's degree or higher. These occupations often include fields like IT, engineering, mathematics, and medicine. And I was talking with somebody who did a search on Grok for what countries produce the top-level tech engineers and coders. And apparently a lot of them are like Sweden and Scandinavia and countries like that over there. So why aren't we hiring from those countries a lot if we're really trying to just get the top talent, which will help to improve production and innovation and help raise the standard of living for all Americans. Doesn't matter what country they come from, the top talent, if it's the top talent, will produce the best results for everybody here. So obviously I understand that right now there's a lot of people that want to completely stop bringing in people and give America first, jobs America first style, only to Americans. And that's understandable. Under different circumstances, I would be completely down with that, where we just completely stop hiring people from other countries, go completely America first. But the one thing that makes it impossible for us to do that, I wasn't going to say it, Jay Monty, but that's the implication. That's the implication. The one thing that makes it that's not a viable situation right now is that we're at this critical inflection point with the evolution of technology. We need to focus on getting the most talented, high-level workers and coders and engineers to America to work for America so that we can maintain technological dominance at this critical point where the evolution of tech is about to go parabolic. We need that to improve the lives of all Americans. I don't care where the workers come from. If they're the top of their field, it will benefit all Americans. Under different circumstances, if there wasn't this critical inflection point where we need to dominate this new innovation in technological evolution, then I'd be totally fine. Shut it down completely. Just hire Americans, America first, period. But Project Paperclip, for instance, where we developed a space program to beat Russia to the moon using high-level German engineers. Similar type thing is going on with tech and that whole situation at this particular moment. We need the top talent to maintain strategic technological dominance. It just so happens that the American education system sucks. Vivek got a lot of slack over. I'm still on YouTube 6 at this moment, unfortunately. But yeah, Vivek got a lot of slack for saying, the culture that idolizes, Corey in Boy Meets World as opposed to the nerds, or Slater as opposed to Screech in Saved by the Bell. People were saying that was like a racist thing, but if you look at it, he's not complaining about white people. He's complaining about the culture of America. And further cementing that was he used an example from Family Matters, one of the all-time greatest sitcoms that happens to be centered around a black family. And the third example he used was people idolizing Stefan over Urkel. And if you watch that show, Steve Urkel, did I do that? He was like a nerd dude, but he wanted to be cool, so he created this machine that he would go into, and it transformed him into Stefan, the super slick, cool dude who's like not anywhere near as smart as Urkel. And it's a good point. Our culture is centered around sports, around entertainment, around being cool. And there are elements of that are great, but our education system has been systematically dismantled and destroyed over the past number of decades. It's something that I've been saying forever. I think Vivek could have worded it better. I think it was an example of poor communication. It was easily misinterpreted. But I've covered the book before that I have, the telephone book-sized book by Charlotte Iserby, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. And, so yeah. I never once even ever watched Saved by the Bell, Omega Directive. So I was just going based on what I remembered from Vivek's thing. But if Zach got a 1500 on the SATs, then that's pretty fucking kick-ass. So not bad at all. Is that the old scoring system? I got like a 1280 in 7th grade on the SATs with that old scoring system. Not too bad. Highest scored in Connecticut for a 7th grader that year. Not bragging, just saying. I have no idea who that is, Omega Directive. But yeah, poorly worded, but an honest point. The American education system is not, and our culture just doesn't value the nerds and the people who really put the work in, and they're outcast, the nerds. That's why we had the movie Revenge of the Nerds, because the nerds are, nobody appreciates or values the nerds. So we need a cultural evolution where we can maintain respect for coolness and for sports and for being badass, but we also need to start respecting the nerds, because some of these other countries, at least in certain areas, they, highly value performing well and education in like certain Chinese culture and certain factions of Indian culture and stuff. Ed, that's hilarious, Ed. I may or may not have been expelled from a never mind. Yeah. But he's right. In my opinion, they're right. We need to reform H-1B, stop bringing in low-skilled workers that Americans can do their job, but we also need to simultaneously acquire the top talent and steal them from around the world to give America technological dominance and to maintain that in this critical moment right now. Free Castle! What's up, Free Castle? Hope you had a great show. Oh, man, Takcho. Thanks for the Rumble rant. Tying in the chat. Cool, Blue. Appreciate that. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren. Great example. Cool and smart. I think he's got 3 degrees, including like chemical engineering or something. And yeah, super, super smart dude. People didn't know that until recently, when it sort of like became a meme that Dolph Lundgren, aka Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies, is actually like a super genius. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Back to the article. As of September 30th, 2019, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services estimated that approximately 583,420 individuals were authorized to work in the U.S. Under the H-1B visa classification. So just way, way too many. It needs to be reformed. People need to stop bringing in people to do jobs that Americans can do. If there are jobs that Americans just aren't best suited for, we definitely need to have the capability to steal that talent from around the world. And that's what makes America great, is getting the greatest and having a merit-based system and encouraging the greatest to want to come here because we have freedom and have, the systems to allow them to succeed. So we don't want to just bring everybody in, but MAGA, we are in favor of merit-based immigration. And especially at a moment like this, when there's this critical tech evolution occurring, we particularly need that at this moment. I totally understand how people were mad about this because we want to be putting Americans first. But I think that it actually counterintuitively, like more guns equaling less crime, I think it actually is putting Americans first when we steal top talent from around the world to improve innovation and production here in America and raise the standard of living for everybody as a result. So it seems a little counterintuitive, but taking a little bit here and there of the top talent from around the world, I think actually does help all Americans. So that's my opinion, maybe controversial, but I think you guys definitely understand that I am putting the American people first, no matter what. And if that involves stealing some talent from around the world, I think that helps us in this case, particularly. Under different circumstances, like I said, shut it all down. But right now, it's not that moment, unfortunately. So this is her, huh? What is her name over here? Free Castle, just tying the chat red, joining up, earning a commissioned officer's rank in the infantry. Thanks for joining on Rumble, Free Castle. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Free Castle, make sure to hop over to his channel and give him a subscription. Give him a follow over here. He does daily broadcasts, Take Up Your Cross, with Bible analysis at the start, some news and stuff. Also, everybody that I talk to loves Free Castle's show, so make sure to hit up Free Castle and give him your follow over there. He deserves it, guys. Free Castle. And thanks so much for subscribing to Common Censored, my friend. Boom! A late Christmas present for Lord Sterling and Loki. I appreciate it. So does the tweet. Kelly Kapowski. Okay, that's her name. she was definitely very attractive. Very attractive. Omega Directive. I always liked Topanga from Boy Meets World as well. I think that's why I like Natalie Winters so much over at the War Room. She reminds me of Topanga. Speaking of Boy Meets World, which is connected with this whole Vivek and Elon story. Hilariously. Yeah, so they faced big backlash. I think it's a misunderstanding, generally speaking, and that MAGA would understand if they were, provided the same type of explanation that I have encountered. So this is important too. After facing backlash, Musk offered this clarification, saying maybe this is a helpful clarification. I think it is, bigly. He says, I'm referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top around 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning. I think that's a great way to put it. We need that talent, steal it from around the world, take it, and turn them into Americans, and help improve things for everybody. So I know this is like a super controversial topic, and I don't want to belabor it too much, but that's my opinion. Yeah, Robert Sterling also has a good take over here, saying you can a casual perusal of the data shows that the program currently is not just for the top 0.1% of talent, as Elon Musk has described what he wants to do. But Elon also has said that this needs to be reformed and reoriented towards that goal, which would dramatically decrease the number of foreign imports. This is simply a way to recruit hundreds of thousands of relatively lower wage IT and financial service professionals. There's no arguing against that that's how it's been used, which is wrong and it needs to be changed. He says, though, continuing, America needs to be a destination for the world's most elite talent. But the H-1B visa program isn't the way to do that. So I agree. Easily fixed. This is a really cool solution that Elon proposed as well. Easily fixed by raising the minimum salary significantly and adding a yearly cost for maintaining the H-1B visa, making it materially more expensive to hire from overseas than domestically. I've been very clear that the program is broken and needs major reform, so I hope people understand that Elon doesn't want to just bring in tons and tons of people. I know, I feel like an idiot, Omega. The fifth love for Omega. Love it. Trap. Elon and Vivek are to cut costs. Immigration is not on their table. Bringing it up now is just dumb. Agreed. It was a major misstep, and the media is harping on it to try to divide MAGA and kill our momentum before we get into office. Although I do think that their underlying points have merit, and we pretty much described that. So Musk also says he's confident in the direction that Trump is taking this, that these changes will make America stronger. We will reform this and fix it and set it up so that we're only bringing in the top of the tip of the top, the best of the best. So that's what we need to do. I think we can all agree on that. Eliminate like 99.9% of the foreign worker imports that are jobs that Americans can do. Make it so expensive that it's not worth it. But if there are like freaks out there who are like on another level, we need them. We need them. We want them. We want them to be welcomed here, to become loyal to us, so that their continued work in their future careers can help benefit America. Because this moment is it's a crazy moment. It's a pivot point, and we need to come out of it on top. So I think that we need to just let this play out, and I think it's gonna go well. I think it's gonna be good. We also have people wanting to, Vivek specifically wanting to dismantle the Department of Education. This is to his point about how the American education system is just so screwed up right now that we're not cultivating and encouraging the best talent. Look at this. Tiffany Justice says only 31% of 8th graders are proficient in reading. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I said, when I was in 7th grade, I scored higher than 95% of college-bound seniors in high school on the math section of the SATs. The schools just aren't producing the best anymore. Even when I was in school, that's why I was able to surpass 95% of high school seniors in math. I mean, are you kidding me? No, I shouldn't have been able to do that. It's because the American education system sucks. 30% are below basic readers, functionally illiterate, and only 27% of 8th graders are proficient in math. Hiring American workers is far more difficult because our education system is failing. To a degree, that's correct, Vivek saying, this is a 5-alarm fire, and President Trump's vision to dismantle the Department of Education is the first step to fixing it. The federal bureaucracy has wasted boatloads of taxpayer dollars while impeding the success of our students. The statistics below are downright brutal. Brutal, to quote Nathan Explosion. Yeah, we'll terminate the YouTube feed now. I didn't know that they're not like into the whole immigration talk or whatever, but here we go. Posted the link in the chat. Sorry, Omega, you're gonna have to come over and actually watch on Rumble now as well. So there's the link for Rumble if you guys are watching on YouTube and you want to continue with us. We're gonna keep going for another hour and a half plus. So make sure to hop over, open up a link, create a Rumble account. Thanks, Omega. There you are. There you are, back home. Back home. Yeah, exactly, Monty. Instead of raising standards, the education system lowers the bar. Because of what? DEI. Affirmative action. The old form of DEI, which was around for decades, contributing to ruining education as well. So yeah, come join us on Rumble at X, guys. We're going to bounce off YouTube right now. Sorry to have to ditch you, but we'll catch you on the flip side if you can't make it. Until then, let's get ready to rumble!